Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I am Mayur and we have discussed a lot of aspects of risk management in the previous two episodes. I strongly recommend you to watch them. This one is a bit different, however. Here we'll learn about the various risk assessment methodologies created by experts around the world. So without any delay, let's begin. See, in the previous episode, we had discussed the risk management process, risk assessment basically. While the process can be tailored according to your organization, it's always good to base that process on a standard methodology. Various risk assessment methodologies are available. We are going to discuss a few in this episode. The first and the most popular one is the NIST SP 830, which is a guide for conducting risk assessment. This guide explains the nuances of the process, covering each and every small detail and suggesting what should be the output of the assessment. This guide would also be covered under the special section that is limited series in the channel. However, for this episode, we'll be covering it at a very high level. See, the risk assessment process as per NIST special publication is divided into 4 steps. As mentioned in the document, this publication focuses on the risk assessment component of the risk management, providing a step-by-step process for organizations on first one, how to prepare for the risk assessment, second is how to conduct the risk assessment, third is how to communicate risk assessment results to key organizational personnel, and fourth is how to maintain the risk assessments over time. See, risk assessments are not simply one time activities that provide permanent and definitive information for decision makers to guide and inform responses to information security risks. Rather, organizations employ risk assessments on an ongoing basis throughout the system development lifecycle and across all of the tiers in the risk management hierarchy, with the frequency of the risk assessments and the resources applied during the assessments commensurate with the expressly defined purpose and the scope of the assessments. FRAP. The facilitated risk analysis process was developed as an efficient and disciplined process for ensuring that information security related risks to the business operations are considered and documented. See, the process involves analyzing one system, application, or segment of business operation at a time and then convening a team of individuals that includes business managers who are familiar with the business information needs and technical staff who have a detailed understanding of the potential system vulnerabilities and related controls. See, during the session, the team brainstorms to identify potential threats, vulnerabilities, and resultant negative impacts on data integrity, confidentiality, and availability. Basically, the CIA triad. The team will analyze the effects of such impacts on business operations and broadly categorize the risks to their priority level. After identifying and categorizing the risk, the team identifies controls that could be implemented to reduce the risk, focusing on the most cost effective controls. See, once the risk have been assigned, a control measure or has been accepted as a risk of doing business, then the senior business manager and the technical expert participating share the management summary. So this is what FRAP is all about. The next one is OCTAVE, operationally critical threat, asset and vulnerability evaluation. That is OCTAVE, is framework for identifying and managing information security risks. See, it defines a comprehensive evaluation method that allows an organization to identify information assets that are important to the mission of the organization, the threats to those assets, and the vulnerabilities that may expose those assets to the threats. By putting together the information assets, threats, and vulnerabilities, the organization can begin to understand what information is at risk. See, with this understanding, the organization can design and implement a protection strategy to reduce the overall risk exposure of its information assets. See, Octave is organized around three basic aspects, enabling organizational personnel to assemble a comprehensive picture of the organization's information security needs. The phases are, the first one is phase one, that is build asset based threat profiles. Phase 2 is identify the infrastructure vulnerabilities, and the third one is develop a security strategy and plans. So if you look at it overall, it's basically a risk assessment strategy only, where you identify the assets, the threats and the vulnerabilities and come up with a plan. The final one is ISO 27005 2018. See, ISO 27005 is the international standard that describes how to conduct an information security risk assessment in accordance with the requirements of ISO 27001. Risk assessments are one of the most important parts of an organization's ISO 27001 compliance project. ISO 27001 requires you to demonstrate evidence of information security risk management, risk actions taken, and how relevant controls from Annexure A have been applied. There are six key components of ISO 27005 approach. The first one is context establishment, then follows by risk assessment, followed by risk treatment, then risk acceptance, then risk monitoring and review, and finally risk communication and consultation. See, while every organization can choose the methodology that is best for them, the most common ones used are ISO 27005 or NIST 830. Their popularity stems from the fact that they are widely accepted, and since organizations want to align themselves what is accepted worldwide. The steps for these assessments should be known to you whether you are preparing for the exam or not. They can sometimes be asked as drag and drop questions. You can always check out my blog for more such stuff. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share it across. You can also check out my sample exams on SSCP and CISSP on Udemy or Simplif if you are preparing for the same. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope to see you in my next video.